Welcome, everyone, to episode 417 of Dial the Gate. My name is David Reed. I appreciate you being with me here as we get ready to set sail for a Stargate Cruise. Jonathan De Arujo of the Vacationeer. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Exciting day today.
Dude, I have heard for years about Star Trek cruises and everything else. And I never thought in a million years that Stargate could get one. So the fact that you are pioneering this, I am thrilled. This is awesome. And the fact that you've got who you've got, what should we start off with?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's start with who's on it.
Yeah. Let's just get the big stuff out of the way. So, let's pull up your website here, and this is at gatecruise.com. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. So this is the cruise website here, and we've got the link in the description below, folks, already. So we're going to take it to the cast and the Grand Poobah himself, Richard Dean Anderson.
Dean Anderson.
Now that the main cast member is out of the bag here, let me set this up just real quick. Okay, here we go. You are a Stargate fan, yes?
Long time.
Okay,
many
so
decades. Yes.
you are not just someone coming in and saying, "Oh, hey, a Stargate Cruise. Let's go ahead and do this." I've heard about this property.
Oh my gosh, no. I got to be honest. I'm also a Star Trek fan, and I own a travel agency, and I've seen the Stargate Cruise year after year, and all the guests.
Oh, the Star Trek Cruise.
The Star Trek Cruise.
Yeah.
Every year, and I sit there and I think, why can't we have that for Stargate? Why hasn't someone done this? And it's been quite a few years in the making, but it's finally here, and
really?
I'm so excited.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to throw a curveball at you. What's your favorite episode? Come on.
So it's got to be Atlantis Rising.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I
You're
knew
a fan of the
I knew
water.
I'd have to justify this answer. So here's the thing: when you're a fan, and there's a new series coming out, and you have the opportunity to not only meet the new characters, but also the thing about Rising is you're meeting an entirely new technology and city and ship, and it's all getting thrown at you at the same time. And you've got Rodney McKay there, and they're losing power, and they're afraid that the shield's going to collapse, and he's losing power. It's so exciting to just see them, to just imagine yourself in this new place that is just beyond your imagination. And also you might be dead in like 5 minutes. It's just so exciting.
Gosh. No, they were on the frontier, that's absolutely good. So we're going to get back to more Stargate here, but people are like, okay, more guests. What is that? So they're already asking. So we have more. Okay.
Scroll down. Amanda Tapping.
Scrolling. Wow. Okay. Very
Everybody
good.
Else Amanda Tapping is? Yes. Okay.
I would sincerely hope so, as Daniel would say. I would hope so. This is a great get. Absolutely. Do we have any more of SG1?
We do. Michael Shanks.
My favorite character. This is awesome. Now I can text him and say, I know that you know. This is so cool, man. Oh, this is great.
Yeah, we didn't mess around when it came to SG1.
No.
We went right to the top.
Right to the top, absolutely. Is it just SG1 though, or do we have some other?
Oh no!
Do we have Atlanteans?
This is not the SG1 cruise. This is the Stargate Cruise. I'm sorry. This is Gate Cruise.
Gate Cruise.
Rachel Luttrell. Yeah. Do I pronounce that right? I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways.
It's Luttrell.
Luttrell. Thank you.
There you go. Got it. Yeah. And she won't correct you too. So it's one of those things. It's like, if you
Well,
know, you
I
know.
appreciate you correcting me.
Absolutely. Dr. Carson Beckett.
Paul
Awesome.
McGillian.
Paulie McGillian. And evidently more cast announcement coming very soon.
Yes.
So is
Yes. So
this
this
something
is
that's going to be
not
updated pretty quickly?
this is not the full cast. We expect to have some announcements, I would say, in the next 2 weeks.
How long have you been wanting to pull this off? You say a long time. How long have you been wanting
It's
to
in
make this happen?
it's in the years. It's been years.
Okay.
It's been we've talked to a lot of people in the industry, and it's just getting the right combination of people together and the right cast members motivated to want to do something like this.
Okay.
And honestly, it really came down to Rick wanting to do this, I think, in a lot of ways.
Ah, okay.
Wow.
There you go. He has he there it in some ways this is perfect for him because he has such a romance with the water. So it's it kind of just all blends in together for him. This is
Yeah.
going to be something that everyone will it's something that uh like if you don't like the water, you're in trouble. If you get seasick, they have those little things now that they can put behind your ear and you can pull it off. And I like the last time that I've done over a dozen of these things at this point, and like everyone, like when I was walking around the last time I was on a boat, had these behind their ear, and apparently they do the job. So this is pretty cool. What other properties have you done? I want to talk a little bit about Vacationeer,
Yeah.
your travel agency. What other properties are
So
already under your belt?
I think the thing that your audience may be most familiar with is Smallville.
Okay.
So we have a cruise called Cruiseville, and it is with the cast of Smallville.
Okay.
Uh, Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum, Erica Durance, and that is this July on a celebrity cruise line ship.
Okay.
And that's the second year for us with that cast.
So this is
And
not a one-off.
this is not, no, we did it last year for the first time. Everyone had a great time. We re-upped, we were ready to go, and we had a second year prepped, and we've sold, I want to say, something like 50 or 60% more people are coming the
Yeah.
second year. So
Yeah. This is awesome.
that's
So
great.
this is not
Awesome.
this is not you're not blacking out a whole cruise ship, right? This is
No, no.
okay. This is
So
a section of the capacity.
yeah. So the
Okay.
so the cruise lines, they call these affinity groups because it's a group of people with the same affinity or same fandom.
Yeah.
And they give us, if we bring enough people, they'll give us space on board. So they'll give us use of the theater space. They'll give us use of the conference center on board. They'll give us use of certain nightclubs and different things at different times so that we can have our exclusive events on board. Nobody else on the ship is allowed into our events. And we have, some really great spaces on board. So all the big spaces that you're familiar with on board typically will have one or two events in all of those bigger venue spaces for events, evening
Well,
events, afternoon events.
how do we wear wristbands? How do they determine who's who
Um,
in terms of letting you into spaces?
I'm looking for a lanyard. We have
Oh, okay.
lanyards. We have lanyards that indicate that you're with our group, and so you
Okay.
just wear your lanyard and you get right in.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. This is not hyperbole. Royal Caribbean is my favorite cruise line, and I've done like 6 or 7 of them at this point, almost all of the major ones. The food is outstanding. Their customer service is great, and you don't feel like cattle.
Yeah.
The situation with everything in the room, and I'm very pleased that Celebrity I enjoyed Celebrity as well, but Royal Caribbean it was my first and my favorite. So this is
Yeah.
ideal for me as far as I'm concerned. So how long have you been in this industry? And tell me a little bit more about you and your day job and your gig.
Yeah, so the Vacationeer is my company, and we've been around since about 2017.
Okay.
And we actually specialize in family vacations, Disney, Universal, cruises. We got our start really selling mostly people's Disney vacations. We are now one of the top sellers of Disney vacations in the country. Same with Universal. But one of the things that we've grown in the last few years is our group cruise department. And so we're basically, I have the luxury of being able to say, hey, what are the things that I really enjoy that I would want to build a cruise around and to go out and create a cruise for my particular interests. We talked about Cruiseville. We just got off about 2 weeks ago, our NRB cruise, the No Rolls Barred cruise, which is a board gaming YouTube channel. Um,
Okay.
they came over from the UK and with 167 of their fans on board, and people played board games all week, and they did live shows. It was a blast. Um,
Wow.
so, I try to put together things that I think will be a great experience, and that way it's easy to just put the time and the energy into making sure that we offer a really great product. The goal is always make sure that when people come on our cruise, they want to come back the next year. That's really
Okay.
kind of the mindset, that the lens that I look at when I'm through which I look at this opportunity as we're kind of building out our schedule and our offerings and pricing and whatnot. We want people to feel like this was awesome. I had a great time. I want to do this every year.
Okay, that's legit. Now, I'd like to get into the destination next. For before I get into that, is this something that if more people get on board, the puns are just going to keep on coming, Jonathan. So you're going to have to forgive me. If more people get on board this thing, will you have the ability to invite more guests? Will that unlock like a
Yeah,
greater
yeah. I mean,
access?
so we start with a core number. And like I mentioned earlier, it's not five, it's more than five. But five is all we have to announce during this call. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll get up to a certain number and then we'll probably hold there and see how sales go. And if it, goes super well, happy to add people. I have a number of people I would love to add. And
Okay.
at this point, it's just, kind of priorities in terms of what we think the fans will want the most.
Absolutely. Folks, you can submit questions to Jonathan or myself just by putting a question mark at the beginning of the YouTube feed if you are in the YouTube chat right now, and the rest of it will come over to me. I have duplicates enabled, so if you send me the same question more than once, you're just going to irritate me. But yeah, okay. And also, Swander Lake. So pets are not allowed on board
Pets are
ships,
not
but
allowed.
yeah, so they're wanting to bring their replicator on board because it's harmless, right? So yeah, no ships have ever been harmed by replicators. So I'm sure that that's cool with Royal Caribbean. Let's go and have a look at where this is going to be. Can you tell us? You know what? Before we do that, can you tell us about the ship that we're on?
Yeah, so Independence of the Seas, it's one of Royal Caribbean's, I would say, not their largest ships, not the largest ships in the world kind of category, but kind of the next size down from there. So
Okay.
it's bigger than most of their ships, but not as big as, maybe like the Icon class, the ones you've heard of very recently, being released in the last year or two. So
Okay.
it's a big ship. It has a lot to offer. It has water slides. It has the Flow Rider, which is the surfing simulator. It has all the dining options and the pizzeria and um, the world class, Broadway style shows and entertainment and a really beautiful large theater. It's a floating city,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just we as you can imagine spend a lot of time on cruises, and it's a great time. I
Okay.
mean, really, for me, the big, and you didn't ask this, but I'm just kind of going off riffing. The thing about cruising that personally I love the most is that you just do what you want. You eat
Yeah.
when you want, you eat what you want, your
Yeah.
room gets cleaned for you,
Hmm.
maybe probably put away your dirty laundry, but like somebody's gonna come make your bed and like
That's it.
put things away for it. I mean, it's just the level of service you mentioned earlier, and I just want to kind of reiterate that, there's just no question that it's just if you need something, you step outside, you look for your room steward, and you just ask, "Hey, could I have this thing?" Right? And it's more than likely it'll be there.
That's right.
Um, it's the dining staff, you go to dinner every night, you have this same dining staff. They get to know what you like to drink and they bring your drink for you
They
before
have your
maybe you
name
even order.
by
They
the
know your
second visit.
name. I mean, the service is just, if you're not used to it, I mean, I guess I'm kind of used to it at this point, but if you're not used to that level of service, it's kind of like, whoa, that like I could get used to this.
That's exactly right. Well, I mean, I must say, personally, if I can get my buttons working here properly, my highlight, and this is very very low. That like I expect this now every time I go. My highlight is
Oh my
the
God, the towel
towel
animals.
the towel animals. I'm sorry, but that is extremely important to me. So, and I mean they do everything. So
So, yeah.
uh,
So, for those that don't know, when the room steward cleans your room every day and makes your bed, they usually create a towel animal for you and leave it on your bed. So, every day you come back to a room with a different animal every day, right? Um, yeah, I'm not a towel animal guy. I take the towel animal and I put the towel back up. I'm like,
you know, agree to disagree.
fair
Jeez.
enough.
Man, oh man. So what about the destination? Where are we heading?
Okay, so we're setting sail from Miami and we are headed to Nassau in the Bahamas. Nassau is the first stop, and it is Royal Caribbean has their new beach club
Okay.
at Nassau in the Bahamas. I don't know why
This is like
you're
a resort in some respects.
so they just opened their beach club
Okay.
a month ago, 2 months ago.
Okay.
It's beautiful. There will be opportunities to do some things with the cast there, probably, but that's not
Really?
part of this announcement.
Okay.
Um, but and there's a lot. I mean, there's Atlantis is in Nassau and
Not our Atlantis, but
Baha
yes.
Mar and sorry, the resort Atlantis, what the Tauri call Atlantis, perhaps.
That's true.
Um, so yeah, so I mean, it's a cool island. There'll be great opportunities for it. You'll see a lot of ships there. First of all, a lot of cruise lines go to Atlantis. I go to uh
The Bahamas.
sorry, Nassau.
Yeah.
A lot of ships will be docked, bang, 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 right next to each other. There'll be a lot of excursions. The Royal Beach Club is only accessible to the Royal Caribbean guests. So it's not like your princesses and your carnivals and all those people will be flooding into the beach club. The beach club, there is an upcharge for it, but if you reserve it before the cruise, they have sales and it's fairly inexpensive and
Okay.
includes drinks and food and everything. So that's day one. Sorry, that's day two
Day
technically.
two.
We have a cruising day followed by San Juan, Puerto Rico. So San Juan's great. It's a historic town in Puerto Rico. And again, lots of excursion opportunities. We will have opportunities with the cast there as well. Not announced yet, but to come. Um, so we'll have San Juan, and then the next day, St. Thomas, followed by
Okay.
2 sea days and back to Miami. And kind of the interesting thing so great locations, great ports of call, but also we've got those sea days, and the sea days are key because we don't like to interrupt people's time in the ports. So we
Hmm.
don't schedule a lot of activities during port time. We try to schedule virtually nothing during port time except for those excursions that I alluded to earlier. Um, so those sea days are when we're going to really pack in all the activity, the Stargate related activities. So
Awesome.
that's key to finding the balance between making sure that you get your full cruise experience and you get your Stargate.
That's the nice way to go about it, because generally speaking, I find, this is just me personally, having done this a fair bit. I find the at sea days to be like, I get my laptop out and I work. I catch up on work,
Yeah.
and it's going to be nice to have that replaced. I mean, don't get me wrong, I eat well, but it's going to be nice to have that replaced with the actual Stargate activity. So for something like this, there's going to be a really good counterweight to the
Yeah.
vacation portion of it. And for those who want to do excursions with the special folks, they can. But then it's like, I can also get like a break from the convention experience, which is like that can be wall to wall insanity. What you're doing here is essentially a convention on the ocean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is cool. All
So
right.
the great thing about these events, though, is if you've been to a con, it can be just like you said, wall to wall people. I mean, bonkers, crazy. This is a smaller group. And so you get, so first of all, and we'll talk about this, the types of activities that we do are just more, you just have more time with the cast. It's not like a convention where it's just wall-to-wall people and you've got your, photo op opportunity and you're in and out in a few seconds and you've got your autograph opportunity. We do all that, right? But we also do parties with the cast. There'll be a welcome party and the cast will be just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
You're just at a party with the cast from Stargate, right? We'll have a welcome party. We'll have a farewell party. We'll have a game show where you're in the theater or a comparable venue and they'll be on stage and they'll be playing a game. And I don't want to give away too much, but it's like it's like an experience that you will not have had at cons, right? That you will
Mm-hmm.
not have had before. We'll do the Q&A panels that people are familiar with and give you that experience that you're used to from the cons. But we'll have episode viewing parties where we all get together in a room and watch Rick and Amanda's favorite episode with Rick and Amanda talking about it,
That's what
answering
I'm really
questions,
looking forward
you
to.
know.
I really want to see them do
Um,
commentaries on certain episodes, for sure.
So, each will have different groups of cast that will pair up and they'll pick their favorite episode and we'll watch it with them. Um, so, and I know I'm going to forget some of our activities that we
It's
do,
all right.
but
Well, like
it's
photographs of the cast and autographs, those are big
all
ones.
your typical photo op opportunities, autographs, selfies, all of that is going to be there. Typically, we take it up a notch, and we may offer some specialty photo ops and things like that. That we haven't quite worked out yet. We have a little bit of time, but we'll have some really cool stuff that will make this experience memorable as compared to kind of the standard con photo op, etc.
All right. Awesome. I've got some questions for you. You ready for
Shoot.
the deluge?
Absolutely.
So a lot of these are going to be specific. I've already gotten several. Has such and such been invited? Will such and such be invited? Can you kind of give a blanket answer as to how
I
you're approaching
can't really
people?
get into.
Yeah,
I'm happy, by the way, like if you can compile that and send it to me, I'm more than happy
absolutely,
to
I will.
entertain any, we have invited others. We are confident we will have more announcements coming soon. But I can't get into any particular names on this call.
Okay.
So I apologize. I understand completely. We all want to know. I get it.
Brad L 2101. How many spots are available, Jonathan? Like, how quickly do we need to book here? And do
So
you have to pay everything up front?
so you don't have to pay everything up front. There's a $500 deposit up front, which is fully refundable. So what I always recommend to people, and check our FAQ and see when the deadline is for when the final payment is due and when it's not fully refundable anymore, because it's not fully refundable forever. But we're almost a year out. We're like 11 months out or 10 months out. So there's quite a bit of run room at this point. So you can make a deposit, grab a room, make sure you've got it. And then the beautiful thing is you can set up a payment plan with one of our agents. So Royal Caribbean has a system that has an automated payment plan that we can work out for you. So we like to give people a lot of time to kind of save up and pay for these, because we know vacations are expensive, and people don't just
you
write
can't
a
just
check
click
day
your
one,
fingers in.
right?
Exactly.
So yes. Sorry, I think I lost the main question there.
Yeah, how many spots were available?
Oh, how many spots? Okay. So we are basically limited by the venue space on board.
Exactly.
So typically what we'll try to do is keep it under the main theater capacity, which is about 1,000 or so on this ship. So we're going to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to do the events that are included. And if we can't fit you in the theater, we can't do 2 of that event. So, it's going to cap at maximum of about 1,000, and we'll see where we get. If we get half that, we'll be perfectly happy.
That's awesome. But I mean, 500 people versus 1,000 people, there might be wiggle room again if you get more attendees for a couple more guests.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
more people unlocks the potential for more types of more
Absolutely.
guests.
Yes.
Okay.
More than happy to add as we go.
There we go. Awesome. Judith Remkes, there seems to be a demand for a European tour. Is that a future option, or do you only work in the United States?
It is an option. It's been discussed. It's not something that is currently in the works. It's not something that I would promise, but it is something that is on the table for sure.
Okay. Mama Knox also asked that one. Thank you, Mama Knox. Hello, hello. Gateworld.net, some website. When will the port excursion options be announced, Jonathan?
That I don't have that information yet. I will say this: if you take, for example, our Smallville cruise, which sails in July, we just launched Excursions. So March, April, May, June, July. So about 4 months. So probably somewhere in that 4 months-ish range before the cruise. Could be a little more.
Okay. Very good. Don Zimmerly, are these limited to one cruise line, or would potentially a Norwegian cruise be possible in the future? How does that work?
Never say never,
obviously,
but the benefit of Royal Caribbean is they have these great conference centers on board, and other cruise lines don't, for the most part. Celebrity does as well, also owned by Royal Caribbean. So we tend to steer towards Royal Caribbean because just space is a lot easier for us. We can take over the conference center for the week and set stuff up in there and host different events in there. And that way we're less restricted on, for example, the theater. The theater, they're going to have shows every night in the theater for the entire cruise. So they're not going to give us the theater at night. So if we want space at night, we're more limited in kind of where we can put our events. So when we have these extra spaces, it just makes it easier for us to schedule more activities for the guests. So we lean towards the cruise lines that allow us to offer more.
That makes a lot of sense. All right. Very good. Hannah K., can you indicate any kind of opportunities there will be to interact with some of the guests off port? Are we talking like in the vein of excursions that you might find on a cruise, or would these be completely different? Okay.
So think of it, some of the ones we recently announced for the other cruise that I mentioned.
Oh, good point.
Swimming with the sharks with insert 2 or 3 cast member names, right?
Wow.
So it's basically the same excursion. It's just a private group just for us.
Okay. All right. So a certain level of access that would be provided there in an exotic situation that would otherwise not be. Yeah. I swam with porpoises on when I went to Royal Caribbean. It was kind of awesome. So,
Very
and the thing
cool.
that I love about Royal Caribbean is their 24-hour pizza kitchen. And in the main thoroughfare, you just go down there and just
Yes.
put in a napkin, and just the pizza just comes on coming out, and you can just keep on eating it. So
So I don't think it's technically 24-hour though.
it's not.
But
Oh,
it's
it
open
was when I
very,
did it 10
very
years
late.
ago. So, well, it was
It's, you
14
know how
years
I
ago.
know that? Because I would walk by it on the way to my first like morning events. Every morning I would
I
walk down
see.
the promenade and it was always closed, but that's like 8 in the morning, you know?
So maybe it's not 24 hours anymore, but
Yeah,
hey, I'll
it's
take
open
it.
late. It's open till like 3 in the
Okay.
morning or something.
Okay. There we go. Awesome. Well, there's a number of different people asking for different guests here, so there seems to be some interest, Jonathan. So very
Oh,
good.
that's I had no doubt about that.
Jeez. Oh man. Is there any other information that you want to share before I start
Should we look at
to
pricing?
That's not a bad idea. Let's go ahead and have that conversation. All right. Stateroom pricing. There we go.
So it starts at 3264, 3,264. That's for an
US.
interior cabin, US, for two people.
Okay.
So all of our pricing is for two people. It includes port fees, gratuities. It includes obviously all of our included gate cruise events. There will be some things that are an additional charge. But we, like I said earlier, kind of we really focus on making sure that, hey, if you say, oh, all I can afford is just kind of the base price, we want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you get a lot for that money. So we do a lot more than a standard convention does. Um, so that, yeah, so we start at 3264. My phone is just going crazy for
It's all
some
right.
reason. Um,
Maybe
it
we've
jumps
crashed your
up to
website. I can only hope.
for it could be. Um, it jumps up to 3564. So another $300 gets you a window. So on
Okay.
ships like this, you
Oops.
have either an inside cabin where you don't have a window, that you have the big mirror, or you have on the outside of the ship the ocean view or the ocean view balcony. So 3564 for just the window. And
Mm-hmm.
then 3948 gets you the whole balcony, so you can walk out and you've got chairs and you've got your own open air balcony. Those are kind of the standard rooms. And again, those are for two people, and that's going to include your food, and that's going to include all of the entertainment on the ship. That's going to include our included gate cruise events. That's going to only thing you most people would add to that would be, excursions, maybe a
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi package, those types of things.
Alcohol.
Um, Alcohol, yeah, if you wanted a drink package. I'm not the guy to remember that because I don't drink and I never buy the
Neither do
drink
I. Never
package,
touched
but
it. So it's like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Right, 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 right. And I think there's a soda package as well, if I'm not mistaken.
there's a soda pack.
So I just
There
usually
are
go on board
different
and get
levels of the drink
lemonade.
packages.
Yeah,
So those can be good
yeah.
options as well. We've got a few people that really love the Starbucks card. They buy a Starbucks card at
Oh,
the beginning of the
wow.
cruise and then use that every day. Um,
Caffeinated. Okay.
so it just kind of depends on priorities. But then junior suites, so we're getting into the suite categories. 5264, again, all these for two people. A grand suite at 7719, and then an owner's suite at 9339.
Awesome.
So, you can get into some pretty high-end accommodations here, still under 10,000. I know for a lot of people that's crazy money, and we totally understand that. And for other people, it's, if I'm going to go on a cruise, I want to be in a suite.
Hmm.
So we try to make sure that we have a little bit for everyone. I will say this, on a cruise like this, typically you're going to spend fairly little time in your room in
Hmm.
most cases. Now, everyone's different, right? Some people are like, hey, if I'm around a lot of people, I need my own space to decompress and I like to nap or whatever. Totally cool. But I look at it from the standpoint of when I'm on these cruises, I'm typically very, very busy. So the type of stateroom is kind of less of a thing for me. Some people might say, I want to go and bring friends or meet friends and invite people back to my room and have, Stargate get-togethers or whatever. Maybe you want a bigger room for that. But even the basic rooms are plenty. I mean, I stay in an ocean view balcony almost always, or an ocean view,
Hmm.
and it's fine.
So
Yeah.
friends can get together and so like one of the suites, like there's obviously a cap of the number of spaces to sleep on there, but like the junior suite that
Yeah.
comes with the couch converts into a bed, for instance. So there are like friends can get together and
You
get
can get
themselves a
four,
suite
yeah,
if they want to.
you can get four people into a room in most cases.
Okay.
Not all rooms. I mean, we have to pull the right room out of inventory that has that convertible sofa. They don't all have that. But yeah, we can get you a room for four. And then the third and fourth guest, we don't have that pricing here. Just check with one of our agents for that pricing. Um, and by the way, to contact one of our agents, you can just click and fill out the form on the website, or you can call the 800 number, which is might as well give the 800 number,
Hmm.
which is 844-777 7740 7740. So you can call in, you'll talk to one of our team, our agents. We have a team of 8 agents that specialize in these cruises. And they answer the phones and they answer the emails. And I should also say, we have a Facebook group. So check out come join
Ah.
us on the Facebook group. It costs $0 to join our Facebook. And that's a great place to get information. As we make announcements, we're going to make them there, as well as to anyone who's reached out and filled out a form or reached out to one of our agents.
Right.
We'll add you to our list so you get our emails as well, and you get our announcements. So as we have cast announcements, we'll put them in there, and we'll obviously let you know so that you can let people know as well.
Right. That's sweet. Well, I already spoke with my parents, and they said, "Well, when you're off the call, contact us and set us up." So they're going. So my
It's
dad likes to
it,
sit in the room and just and or sit on the balcony. He doesn't leave, well, except to eat. But it's just that he is in like full vacation mode. So you definitely got them interested. So
that's awesome.
awesome, man. Anything else?
My gosh. So yeah, I mean, join the Facebook group because it's just like one of the things is we just want to make sure that we're able to get you more information as it comes out because new cast announcements and
Mm-hmm.
when excursions are going to be available and that type of thing. We want to make sure we can let you know. If you're interested and you have any questions about how payment plans work, or what types of rooms are available, or how do I pick where my room is, because when you book with us, you get to pick your room. So that's a process. Where do I want to be? What deck do I want to be on? Forward, aft, section, center section. Do I want to be near certain, do I want to be near the buffet? Am I going to eat there a
Mm-hmm.
lot? Do I want to be near the, Sorrento's, the pizza place? Um, you should probably be near Sorrento's, apparently.
For sure. Now those
They'll
are all
the
like in the
agent will
interior. Does this one have like an interior promenade? Like
There is an
I,
interior
okay.
promenade, yeah. So you'll
Yeah.
you'll find there'll be some shopping, and Sorrento's will
Mm-hmm.
be there, and there'll be, a bar will be there, and guest services and next cruise office, different things will be right in that main area, and then they'll do, different events in the main promenade. It's pretty cool the way they lay these ships out, and let's see, what else? What else? What else? We talked about destinations. We talked about kind of the ship. So
Yep,
the cool thing with dining on these cruise ships is that there's a lot that's free and included. And by the way, I almost never go outside of the free and included stuff myself. So there's
for
no
sure.
need to. But if you're a foodie and you're really excited about, I want to try this really fancy restaurant, I'm really into sushi, or I'm really into, there are some specialty dining restaurants that
That's
you
right.
can add on, and oh, for one night I'm going to go get sushi. So
Hmm.
they have those types of options as well. But most of the stuff is included, including like the flow rider, the surfing simulator, um,
Oh,
on
that's
board the
right. I've
ship.
seen this thing. I don't want to fall on my ass. That's not happening. But the little
Well,
ones can.
okay, here's the and I have done that, and it is embarrassing. But they start you on a boogie board. So you're
This is
laying
true.
down on the boogie board. You're
To get you
not,
used to it.
if you fall on a boogie board, you're not falling very far.
This is true. Okay. That's
So
a good
you
point.
get out, you start on the boogie board on your chest, and then you push up, and then you can get up on your knees. And then eventually, if you get really good, and you can go every day, you can get up on the regular like surfboard. It's like a small surfboard. And you can go. My roommate who I went with last time,
Uh-huh.
um, he was at the flow rider every day. And he would come back
Oh,
and he'd be like, "Oh, I got upgraded to the blue band, and now I can do the stand-up." And like it's fun. It's a good
oh,
time. And there are
this is
people that
great.
bring their own boards because they go on multiple cruises and they just get really good at it, and they just love it, you know?
Wait, simulator. I'm trying to pull this thing up here. The Flow Rider, is that what it's called?
Yeah. And
Okay.
it's
This is,
expensive to do it elsewhere. So to get it free whenever, like all the time on the
yeah.
cruise is pretty,
That's really kind of wild. I think I'm in. Yeah.
there you
Oh,
go.
I'm
That's
totally
probably
in.
me wiping out right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's happened. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm doing it. Yeah, someone can have a laugh at my expense. Absolutely. This is really
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. Um, and I saw the pizzeria. Where did I have that here? This is it right here. Okay. So the pizzeria is really cool.
Yeah.
I
And
love the
it's just
specialty restaurants
literally,
too, for like one night, just doing something special, treating yourself, like go to like a steakhouse or,
yeah.
trying different kinds of meats. You were saying?
No, well, the pizza place is literally just like walk up, get in
Hmm.
line, usually not a long line, although late at night it gets kind of long.
You get the munchies, but
And
there's tables in the neighborhood there. So,
yeah, and it's just like I'll have two slices of that, one of that, one of that. Thank you very much, and eat your pizza. I mean,
hmm
it's like this. And it's good pizza.
hmm yes, absolutely. All right. Let me double check the Q&A here. Will there be vendors selling SG merch? Good question, Hannah Kay. Thank you. Are there any vendors or
No,
options
it
for
won't be
that?
that kind of event. So we won't
Okay.
have one of the things with the cruise lines is they kind of don't want us like setting up shop on board.
Okay. They've got their
So
own shops.
yeah, so I mean there may be some things that might come with like a VIP package or something that might be announced in the future, or some giveaways that people could win or things like that. But there won't be like vendors that are selling like replica stuff from the show. That won't be part of this.
Okay. Sweet. All right. Marsha Middleton, will the cruise be ADA accessible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
They have ADA rooms on board. And all of our spaces will be ADA accessible. The only things that there would be a question mark about would be excursions. So those would be, if you do book, then and that's an issue when excursions are released, then reach out to us, and we can check with the providers of certain excursions and see what might be ADA accessible and what might not. But the ship
Okay.
itself is.
Okay. There's a lot of Europeans here bemoaning the fact that they're European, geographically speaking.
It's
Not because
yeah,
they're
it's
sad to be Europeans, but
so
they're
that
it's
no,
having a hard
I
time getting over.
believe
I have a
me,
friend in this
I
group
wish I
who's
was
live right now who
European,
can't
but
fly, and
uh,
yeah.
it's
So
tricky. I would say, if you can swing it, come to Florida and join us. I would love, love, love to do one in Europe. It's just there are a lot of complications. We're located in Florida. We're going to bring a lot of stuff with us,
Yeah.
big, bulky, heavy stuff with us for this cruise, and that just becomes very difficult to do that far for us. The other thing is, just laws around this type of offering. We're a U.S. travel agency, so it just becomes complicated. I don't want to say never. I would like to do it, but it's not a soon thing.
Okay. Very good. That's sweet. Yeah. People are asking for a Stargate. Seriously, will it have a big Stargate in the middle? I actually floated that idea, but you know what? Then I found out that we don't have the whole ship, and it's like people are
David,
gonna be
yeah,
like, "What
David
is
wanted
that
me to
thing?"
strap the full-size Stargate to the top deck. That's not
I did.
happening. Uh, the what you know what we're gonna see what we can bring on board. I don't think a full-size Stargate is in the offing for year one, just based
Yeah,
on the space that we have on board. But we'll see what we can bring.
a boy can dream. So,
Let me tell you, I'm I'm looking at a lot of different options.
okay.
So, and this is the kind of stuff that gets me excited. So I wanna make it memorable for people.
Jonathan, thank you. This is cool. Yeah, I honestly never thought that we would have an offering like this for Stargate. Um, I am sorry I didn't know about the Smallville one. I'm glad to hear that it's doing well because if Smallville is doing well, Stargate will do well. I'm not to say that Smallville doesn't have an enormous fan base. It certainly does, but it's like uh, uh, good things are coming for Stargate fans. And
Yeah.
when you told me this just a couple of days ago, it's like, oh, I am all over this, and it's not just because I love Stargate. I love this particular form of vacationing. So, thank you for letting me be a part of announcing this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I really hope that people are excited for it and it becomes something that they look forward to every year.
Awesome. Yeah. These are one of those things where if you have the opportunity to do it, even if you can only do it once, do it. I have a guy on here who just put the Oridosai. What if I'm scared of boats? I mean, uh, look, you've got 7 or 8 months to gradually work yourself up to approaching boats, and then eventually getting on one and setting sail with one. So
Yeah.
there are options. It's one of those things where and I'm working on something similar for around the time that the new show launches. But there are certain things that you can only do every once in a while that come your way, and if you don't do them, it's like I really wish I had been brave and just done it. It's one thing if you don't have the money. Like not everyone's gonna be able to afford to go. And the
Totally.
fact of the
Yeah.
matter is, there's a couple of people in here who are asking. I just don't think I'm going to be able to afford the money, but can I at least get on the Facebook group and lurk
A
and
hundred percent.
root for the
Absolutely.
project?
Get on
So
the Facebook group. Give us your opinions. Let us know we'll do surveys. We'll ask questions. We want your opinion too. Like we understand. Look, believe me, I've been in travel for quite a while now, and obviously, especially with economic things going on, like
inflation,
people,
yeah,
I get it. I
yeah.
totally get it. But you never know when things might change, so be aware of it, contribute, be a part of the community. The one thing I'll say for people that are concerned about, oh, I don't know how I feel about cruises, um, you might hate it. I don't know. But in my experience, my wife was one of those people that was like, why would you cruise when you can fly to different amazing cities around the world and
It's my
experience it?
dad too.
And I said, just try it.
Yep.
Just try it. And not to say that flying to amazing places that you can't access from a cruise ship is not a wonderful way to travel. But there's just something about the service, about the accessibility, about the food options, about the entertainment on board.
Hmm.
You wake up, you go where you want, you eat what you want, you get the entertainment that you want on your schedule. You're waited on by everybody is there to help you and to clean up after you, and you're not grocery shopping, you're not cooking, you're not cleaning your dishes, you're not
They take
cleaning
care of
pots
you.
and pans, you're not thinking, you just show up, you're not paying a bill, you're not looking at the menu and thinking, oh, I don't want to get that because that's the most expensive thing. And I don't know if this is a big thing for me. I don't know if maybe I'm strange, but I always look at the menu and do I really want to pay that for that steak or whatever? You get there, you pick up the menu and you order what you want.
That's it.
You order
That's
the
it.
thing that you think would be the most expensive thing because it's already paid, it's included. And by the way, if you're not sure if you want that entree or that entree, just get both.
You can
And if
get
you're
both of
not
them.
sure if you want that dessert or that dessert or that dessert, get all three. And guess
That's
what?
it.
They'll tell you to do that. They won't
Yeah.
look at you like, oh, how could you order all
No,
that?
everything's on
They'll
a plate
say,
already. They just dish them out, pardon the
yeah,
pun.
no problem. Because they're there to help, they're there to serve. They want you to give them a good review at the end of the day.
Hmm. That's it. And the thing that I really want to point out about a lot of the onboard entertainment is it's not 2 hours long. Like they have
No.
mini events. Like for instance, here, let me show this one off. This is on the ice rink, and these
Yep.
last like half an hour, and
Yeah.
they give you like an idea of what it is that's going to be available to you in terms of the other things that are happening. The thing that I loved about the dining experience was it was pure magic. Like I had never been in such an enormous space on board
Yeah.
a cruise
Yeah.
ship before. I mean, this goes up levels, and this is in the
Yeah.
back end of the boat. I got used to the uh there, see, yeah. So I got used to the rocking. It's very subtle, and
Yeah.
it actually helped me get to sleep. So, but there's a
I don't,
lot.
I mean, it doesn't bother me, and I am a person who has certain types of motion sickness, but
Mhm.
I can't say that if somebody's concerned about that, it's not going to affect them. That's a case by case basis, but I would say that it's good to know. It's good to try it once to know how it impacts you so that you're at least opening yourself up to something that you could really enjoy in the future.
Mhm.
Typically, if there are people that have motion sickness issues, they will take the like Dramamine patch or they'll
That's
wear
what it
the
is.
C bands around their wrists or that kind of thing.
And those
But
oddly help. I don't
yeah,
know the science behind it,
it's
but
acupressure.
I
It's
see.
Eastern medicine. Yeah,
Okay.
pretty cool.
What about insurance? Like, do you include insurance for
We can
like
add it.
travel insurance? Okay.
It will be offered. So anyone who
Okay.
books, we will offer it to you. We do recommend it. Every
Oh yeah.
time, every time we do one of these events, we have 5 or 6 people that don't show up. And it's for whatever reason, their flight was
Things
canceled
happen.
or, they got sick or, God knows, right? Who knows? Get the travel insurance. You just never know what's going to happen. It covers, a lot of stuff, medical evacuation, that kind of stuff that's like exorbitantly expensive. So we really recommend that because if that kind of stuff happens, we're just kind of like our hands are tied. There's not much we can do
There's
to
nothing you
help you
can
if you
do.
didn't get the travel insurance. So
Yeah,
we do
I
recommend it.
cannot recommend that one enough. Quick personal story. I was with my folks on Santorini in Greece, and my dad was coming down the donkey steps and was staring at the horizon line and didn't watch his footing. Compound fractured his ankle on the donkey steps. Had to be flown to Athens. $25,000 surgery. They paid every single cent,
Wow.
and we hadn't always bought insurance, and it was like, man, no way ever again will we not, because that was worth its weight in gold.
It
So,
only
and they
takes
took
one
care
of
of us
those
too.
stories.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
it. That's it. And then I was like,
yes.
well, I'm glad I learned my lesson there. So,
Yeah.
gateworld.net, less motion in midship rooms. That is very, very true. So if you want
Yeah.
that, I would get a midship room. Do they have the ability to pick the location of
Yes.
okay.
Yes. And the
Oh, you
price
kind of already
varies
answered that.
depending
Yeah.
on depending on where they want to be on the ship. So the more popular places, central, higher up, those tend to be a little bit more expensive. The lower you are on the ship, which actually you're probably going to experience less motion lower in the ship. But you know, obviously you're not going to have as high a view out your room and that kind of thing. Those tend to be a little cheaper. So,
For
but
sure.
yes, you will get to choose your specific room, and that is your room. It's locked in, done.
That's it. Awesome. Thank you, sir. This has
Thank
been
you.
fantastic. Okay, so potentially more guests could be announced fairly quickly here.
Yeah, I would say within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fantastic. All right. And gatecruise.com is the address?
that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking some time with us and telling us how this process works. And so it looks like we just fill in the form
If
and the
they just
process
fill
gets
in the
started.
form, one of our agents will get right back to them, either call them, email them, or text them.
So it can be done over just email. Then they don't have to.
If
They
you,
don't have to
yeah,
make a
if
phone
you
call.
prefer to email,
Okay.
you can say right in the form, you know, please contact me via email. I prefer email. The only issue is occasionally we get, you know, stuff goes to spam or that kind of thing. So,
Exactly.
um,
I can relate.
it's best if you can at least text. But I always find it easier to just jump on the phone and ask my questions. That's me. I'm old school. I'm
Same.
not a big texter, but
Yeah,
whatever
that's the
you
thing.
like, we're happy to work with you on that.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, I am definitely signing up and looking forward to doing this. The Caribbean is really the best spot for this, especially for people who have never done sailing before, because you're not going to Europe, you're not
Yeah.
crossing the Atlantic, and the
Yeah.
waves are big on the Atlantic. This is like, to borrow from Seinfeld, an old man sliding into a warm bath. So there's this is a great spot to do it because it's not intense on the ocean. So
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome.
It's going to be great. We're excited.
Thank you, Jonathan. So gatecruise.com is where we can keep an eye on the guest announcements and the Facebook group, and those details are all in the description below, folks. So thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing you on board.
I'm looking forward to seeing you on board. Absolutely. Maybe I'll get involved somehow. So if I'm lucky
Oh,
enough.
yeah.
So appreciate your time, man.
All right. Same here.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Jonathan DeArujo of Vacationeers. He is helming the first ever cruise with the Stargate cast. So this is pretty awesome. My name is David Reed. You're watching the Stargate Oral History Project. If you enjoy the show, the franchise, and Dial the Gate, and you want to see more content like this available on YouTube, do me a favor and click that like button. It does make a difference with the show and will continue to help us grow our audience. And please consider sharing the video with a Stargate friend. And if you want to get notified about future episodes, click subscribe. And giving the bell icon a click will notify you the moment a new video drops, and you'll get my notifications of any last-minute guest changes. And clips from this episode will be released over the next few days, possibly today or tomorrow, actually, on the Dial the Gate YouTube channel. We have a number of episodes coming up. They're all available for viewing on dialthegate.com in terms of the sequence of the folks that we have. And we will see how things go with this event as well. We'll be keeping you in the loop because this is one where if my parents are going, I guess I better go. So, we hope you enjoyed the O'Neill class Asgard mothership flying in at the beginning of the episode. Thanks to Matt Wilson, Eagle SG, for pulling that one off. I've been really looking forward to that one for a long time. And thanks so much to my Crackerjack moderating team for pulling my cojones out of the fire with this one, Anthony and Marcia. This one was a last minute one and I had to pivot. So here we are. Thank you to my mods and everyone involved in making this episode possible. My name is David Reed for Dial the Gate. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you on the other side.